pat down the chickens and make sure that they're completely dry. We're going to add some butter, kind of a base to it to get the rub. The rub is the spices that we'll put on the chicken on the outside and inside to make sure that it sticks to it. So that butter will make it stick. But before we do that, you always want to make sure you get your chicken as dry as possible. So the first thing you want to do before you put the butter on the outside to put the rub on is you want to get inside the cavity of the chicken. And I'm just taking and dropping some rub inside the cavity, just kind of getting it filled up inside. This will make sure that the flavor kind of penetrates from inside. So the next thing we're going to do is just add a little liquid butter. This is butter, regular old butter that I've melted. And you can see that I'm just going to kind of coat the outside of the bird here. This is the back side of the bird. I'm going to take my rub with my other hand and kind of just sprinkle it on both sides, with the majority of it going on the other side. And this rub is a combination of onion salt, garlic salt, paprika, and then some chicken seasoning spices. But you can basically use anything you want. That's what I'm using for this particular rub, with a heavy paprika base. I'm going to do the top of the chicken now. Make sure that I get everything all over the top, the legs. And again, this butter is just to, you can use olive oil as well, but this butter is just there to make sure that the rub sticks to it. And now I'm gonna kind of sprinkle the rub on, kind of smear it around there in just a second here. But again, this is to give it some color, a little bit of taste for that skin, and that's a way to kind of enhance the flavor of the chicken as it cooks and steams with the beer inside and on the smoker. And that's what we do for the rub for our beer butt chickens. And we're all done now, and we're ready to go on to the smoker. So I've already taken some beer and got this down to about halfway. You want the cans to be about halfway full. Pour the excess into the tray. It's pretty simple. You just insert the beer can right in, and you're going to position it onto your tray. Of course, you'll have to do this again before you put it onto your cooker, but basically that's all there is to it. Insert the beer can into the cavity of the chicken, put it on a tray, put the excess beer into your tray, use it as a steaming tray, and you're ready to go. Today we're going to cook these beer butt chickens on one of my cookers. This is a gas-fed cooker. It's about 25 years old. It's in pretty good shape given its age. And if you can see down here, we've got a brass burner underneath kind of a charcoal and wood box, real thick cast iron box. Just fired it up. And this particular cooker can hold about 8 butts. It's about 4 feet tall. And this is what we'll be cooking the beer butt chickens on that top rack. We'll put a tray and do it that way. There'll also be a water tray right above the charcoal box that will be our drip pan, water pan. So that's our cooker we'll be using for the beer butt chicken. So before we put the birds on, we're going to take and put some wood chips. I've had some wood chips soaking in a big old plastic cup here, and we're going to put them right on top of our kind of our firebox there, so that we get some good smoke. Zoom in there. And that's all we have to do to get started. We'll add some more as we go through the cooking process, but that's how we get started. All right, so there are beer butts. They're in the tray. We've got our water tray in there, and we're gonna leave these now to cook. We'll check back here in about an hour, maybe 2 hours. We'll keep a constant watch on the temperature, but there are beer butts just standing up, getting ready to take that good smoke in and cook for about 4 to 5 hours. So we're a little over an hour into the cook, and I like to check early on. You know, there's no really need to do this, but I just kind of like to do it as a bit of practice to see how the meat is kind of firming up. You can tell that our temperature gauge is almost at 250. It'll probably get a little bit hotter. If we were doing traditional barbecue, we wouldn't want it to get much hotter, but this is beer butt chicken, and we don't care. It can get as hot as it wants to get. Let's take a look real quick and see how we're setting up. Looks pretty good. Fire's good. Water's good. Chicken's setting up real nice, so I think we're on track. And put a little more wood on the fire, and then let it sit for 2.5 hours before we check it again. So here's the finished result. We're not really done cooking yet, if you can believe it. So you can see that this is the front of one bird and the back of the other, just to give you a comparison. And what we'll do now is we're going to wrap the birds and let them sit for at least an hour, probably, yeah, I let them sit for about an hour before we chop and serve. But this is what they look like coming off. A little dark around some of the areas where probably should have wrapped in foil, some of the wing areas. But good consistency, good smoke, a wonderful smell, and I think they'll really turn out to be nice. So we're going to let them finish cooking by wrapping them for about an hour in some foil. So here's the final outcome of the beer butt chicken. Sorry about the noise in the background. This is it. It's juicy, it's cooked, it's smoked, just really nice, really luscious. So get ready to dig into it for dinner. Hope you've enjoyed the video. That's Memphis Meats, Ohio. If you need any cooked meat, barbecue, ribs, barbecue sides, give us a shout out at www.smokemeatsohio.com. Thanks.